It is like she flips the switch in my brain. She flips the switch and a whole new perception of life is here. At one switch, I'm this body doing this work with struggles, and challenges, and practices, with likes and don't likes, with stories. And then she flips the switch, it's all gone. There's just bliss. The very looking is bliss. Everything that is seen is bliss. There is no you or I or stories. There's just the one divine bliss. Now I can turn my attention back to a sense of me, back to the stories, and contract. But once the switch is flipped, you don't want to switch the flip back. For as long as she allows, there is but one. There is no world. There is no emptiness. There is neither existence or non-existence. There is the bliss, the one infinite bliss. So scientifically, you can look at it and say, all right, this perception is no longer from a sense of me. It's no longer from a sense of person with stories and worries and desires and responsibilities. So then we can look and say, all right, so this must be surrendered. Our attention latching on to this sense of me. All of this at one level is based on thought. So can we surrender? Holding on to our thoughts. If we fight with our thoughts, then we're in conflict. So can we allow thoughts to be? Let them be in awareness. What also makes up this sense of me? The sense of doing. The sense that I am the doer. That I am doing this moment. Can you surrender that? Can you surrender all control? Already there's peace. Already there's a certain level of bliss. But then there is still a sense of self that we look through. A sense of self we are perceiving from. An individual sense of I we are perceiving from. So what to do? How do we see beyond this I? How do we perceive beyond this sense of individual being? How do we stop perceiving from a certain place in space and time, a fixed position? It's mind-boggling. You can't understand how to do that. But here we can turn our attention to what is beyond ourselves. We can turn our attention to God, to Guru, not to a belief in God, not to what we know God is or what we know Guru is, because that keeps us in duality. We cannot know God. We cannot know Guru. But we can sense the bliss in this moment. Once you've let go of yourself enough, once you've done a certain amount of spiritual practice where there is a transparency here, the ego has been humbled, subsided. And with this music you're listening to, if you feel into the music, there's Shakti. There's the energy of Guru. There's the energy of God. And there's a presence here, a goodness here. If you are able to perceive this goodness, this bliss, then you pay attention to goodness, to bliss, without any other thing around. You are relinquishing everything but the goodness you feel. You become devoted to bliss. You become devoted to love. You become devoted to what is here that is unexplainable. An unexplainable joy that is not just a feeling. You could say presence, but presence is already wrong, because presence says there is a presence here that is an object. I am the subject and I am aware of the presence. Perhaps that's where we start. We feel into the undefinable. We become devoted to the undefinable. We become devoted to what is beyond mind, beyond ego, beyond the physical, beyond the stories and the knowledge. Because from my perception, what is here is Guru, is God. And when I give myself to her, she flips the switch. And then there is only her. The I is no longer that sense of me. The I is her. The her is I, the I is her. So from my perspective, we do the spiritual practice, the meditation, to let go of ourselves and then to awaken the unexplainable. First we feel her as a peace, a bliss, energy, goodness, a silence. But as the ego gets purified, humbled, dissolved, we no longer feel her as a piece happening to a me, as a sensation we are experiencing. We no longer feel her as an experience. There is just her. There is only infinite bliss. The very seeing is infinite bliss. So that's as best as I can describe it. You hear the storm outside. It's all raging and shaking the house, shaking the roof. But it's all bliss. The truth is, there is only her here. There is but one. Infinite bliss. From one perspective, there is all these different things. We are this person separate from everything else. From another perspective, there is but one. So if you got something good out of this video, please feel free to comment. May you be blessed in her infinite bliss. May everyone and everything be blessed in her infinite bliss. Om Shri Gurave Namaha. Much, much love to you. Much love.